Welcome to Palette of Talent. I'm Sara Al Alamiri. In this episode, we're going to look at the different side of pottery. Let's go and see the different sides of the creativity in this different pottery way with Lama. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What a lovely pottery.
Thank you so much.
So you're starting with it. It's in you.
Yes. So this is it's still dried clay. I haven't put it in the kiln yet.
Okay.
So it's still unfired, and it's very fragile at this state. And I'm just doing a bit of cleanup.
Oh, so let me see. How do you clean up?
So basically, I just dip the sponge that I've had for probably 5 or 6 years. It was bright orange when I first got it.
Okay.
Yeah, but now it's a little brown. And I just wipe over very gently. And I like for the sponge to do the work for me, essentially. And I don't really go in with force. I just go in ever so gently, try to remove all of the little imperfections. So you see over here, there's some texture.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like to just go over it and over it.
Do you do the shapes with it too?
What kind of shapes?
Like what you're just doing, like
Yeah, it kind of
you're
makes
flipping.
it more,
Yeah, right?
circular, yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Do you usually use this sponge for all kinds of your...
Yeah, so I use this when I'm throwing on the wheel, and I also use it for cleanup, and a sponge is a really essential tool for pottery in general.
Amazing. And do you use any specific different kind of tools?
Well, I have this entire little tool set on the side. So these are essentially all of the different tools
pens,
I use.
actually.
Yeah,
Pens
these are instead of these are my pens essentially.
Okay.
So these are all considered like carving tools. And to get the shape of the grooves on this side, essentially what I've used is just this carving tool.
Okay.
Which has this kind of like oblong shape.
Okay.
And I flip it and I carve it like this, just going over and over.
But when do you start doing the stripping?
After I've thrown it on the wheel and it's dried for around like 5 hours.
5 hours?
Yeah. So not too long, where it still has its moisture, but it's not completely dry.
So tell me, how do you balance the form and function?
Well, that's a really good question. A lot of potters struggle where they're on either side of the spectrum, where they're either really beautiful and they're really ornate, but they're not usable. or they're just super, like it's just a cup and it's a really good cup, but it's nothing more than a cup, you know?
Okay.
So the way I balance form and function is I make sure it's as fully functional as it possibly can be, and then I start adding design elements where I can. So on this bowl, a functional potter would have just left it plain, or added a really nice glaze, or added something a little different, you know, but wouldn't have taken the extra step to actually carve some things. And I wouldn't say that I've like started the whole carving thing, but it's something where you can add some little bespoke kind of beauty to your everyday pieces, because I think everything should be beautiful, and everything is beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah.
So why not add that into your homeware, into the things that you use every day?
So you use your stuff sometimes?
Yes, all the time. Yeah, that's the only way I drink my coffee or eat my yogurt or whatever.
Wow,
you know.
great. And have you ever like did something and it's broken and you refixed it? Is it easy to refix when you're doing
well, it
a
depends.
clay pottery?
Yeah, if it breaks after it's been fired, so after it's vitrified, after it's turned to stone, essentially, there's this Japanese method, it's called kintsugi, where they fix broken pottery with gold in the cracks. So they really highlight the imperfections. However, that's not really a feasible thing to do for everyday potters, because it's really hard to do, and it takes months on end.
So it's better to throw it out, like...
Not really throw it out. You can make art with it, you know. You can fully break the piece and put it onto a canvas and do something, but it wouldn't survive its usual function.
Okay, so there are kinds of clays, as I read before about the kinds of clays, and the hardest clays is
Porcelain, for me.
okay for you. But like
in general, porcelain is the hardest, and I've tried it. Yeah.
other people, do they consider that it's the hardest?
Essentially, it's a big like when you tell people that you work with porcelain, they're like, oh, she works with porcelain. She knows how to do everything else, you know.
And you deal with all kind of clays.
Yeah. So now my new collection is essentially all of terracotta, because I really like the brown in it. I like how earthy it is. I've also worked with stoneware, which I really like, and the finer you get. There's kind of like levels of clay. So terracotta is the most groggy, and grog is like the sand sediments that are still in the clay, where it adds a kind of texture.
Okay.
So terracotta is the most texturous, and then there's stoneware, and there's different types of stoneware, of course, but that's typically above terracotta. And then there's porcelain. Porcelain, people say it throws like butter. Like there's no friction against your hand when you're working with it. So that's what makes it really hard.
And it's amazing, actually. It looks even amazing.
Thank you.
Your work is amazing, by the way, but I want to know how, does it take days to finish one item or one pottery?
Well, when people usually ask me about the time frame, it's kind of a hard question to answer, because I could be the most excellent potter in the world and I'd still take like 10 minutes to throw a specific cup. And I could be a beginner and I'd throw a cup in 1 minute. So if I tell you that I throw in 1 minute, that doesn't automatically make me better than the professional who throws in 10 minutes. So it's really, it's all very, it depends. It depends, yes, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
I took it out of your tongue.
Yeah.
It depends, true. Because sometimes I think it depends on the, not the stress, it's what's in your mind, what's your feelings.
Yeah.
You may finish a draw like minutes, and you can take hours for only doing one drawing.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the end of the episode of Palette of Talent. Don't forget to be inspired and keep creating. See you next time.